going to go through the backwards shoulder roll, which is one of my most favourite floor work moves to do. It's a very versatile move as there's a lot of leg variations that we can add into it. It's a great way to add movement to your floor dancing or as a transition between the two poles. And it's also a lot of fun to do. It can be quite confusing when you're first learning it, so be patient with yourself. I'm going to go through the tips and technique for it, as well as mistakes that are most commonly made with it. So hopefully this will help you to learn it at a faster rate. So let's get down to it. So I'm going to demonstrate this without shoes to begin with. I'm also wearing leggings, which really helps. You can wear leggings or knee pads when you're practicing this, as at most floor work it can be a little bit painful at first. Honestly, this is easier to learn with shoes on. So if you have a pair of pole dancing heels with a platform, it's going to make it a little bit easier, but of course you can do it in bare feet also. You can wear perhaps socks just covering your toes when you're learning this. It's going to help you slide that a little bit easier. And especially if you have carpet at home, be careful because you'll probably get carpet burn practicing this. So those are just some things to be aware of while you're doing this. So first off, I'm going to start off on my back. Let me just slide forward here. So starting from a lying down position, everything is going to go backwards in this move. I'm going to demonstrate with bent knees first. Then we're going to progress to both legs straight. So in a backward roll, it's important to note that you're rolling in a diagonal over the shoulder. So we're rolling over one shoulder, we're not going to roll straight over the neck, as that can be quite painful and you could injure yourself that way. So please be careful to roll diagonally across your shoulders. So I'm going to have my right hand down flat on the floor, which you can see, so palm down. And with my left hand, I'm going to make what I call like a TP, or a little triangle. So fingers and thumb point towards the floor, elbow pointing towards the ceiling. So first I'm going to use this right hand to press down to the floor. I'm going to lift my butt up. So right hand presses down, as you can see. I'm going to take both knees over my right shoulder. As I'm doing that, I'm going to look away from my left arm. So I'm going to look away towards my knees. My feet touch the floor. I'm going to take my head around through the gap. So I can come down onto my knees and roll out onto the knees again. So, whichever hand you have in your TP, you're going to look the opposite way. Once you start your roll, face goes the opposite way. That is the key thing in this move. And the faster that you can move your head through to the other side, it's going to make your roll an awful lot smoother and will decrease the risk of you just falling over onto your side. So let me just demonstrate the other side. So lying down on the back, right hand presses to the floor, my left hand, fingers and thumb point down, is making that TP with the elbow pointing up. I'm going to lift up my hips up into the air. So once I get here, I'm going to bring my knees over to that right hand side. I'm going to look away, taking my head through the gap, all the way through to the side of my face, press down to the floor, and I'm going to slide down. So, and from the other side, just one more time to be clear. It's good to do everything in threes. Palm down, palm down. Lift your knees up, look away towards your knees. So, knees come up to the same side as your shoulder. Take your head all the way through once your knees come towards the floor. Head comes through the gap. And sliding down backwards with the feet. Stripper push up to get up, because why not? So, with the straight leg version, which I kind of demonstrated there, it's the exact same, but I'm going to put the emphasis on my toes here. So this is the part that can be quite painful. So maybe put some socks on just covering that part of your foot, or get your heels on. I'll demonstrate my heels in a moment. So I'm going to imagine that I have no knees, so ping your legs straight as much as possible and do not let the knees bend. This is of course a more advanced version, so once you get used to doing it with your knees bent, then you can try this. So lying down, hands in the same position, palm to the floor, TP, fingers and thumb point down, and elbow up. I'm going to lift up, keeping my legs straight. Both legs come over the right shoulder. So whichever hand is down, I come over. My head is coming away from the teepee and then through the teepee. And I'm sliding my butt backwards, keeping my legs straight and pushing away. So remember, your legs are pushing away this position. Everything is going like boom, like a laser that way. So that way your knees do not bend. From the other side, let's give you a different angle. We know the hand position by now, so I'm going to lift up, both legs straight. Legs are coming over my right shoulder. So move your head through the gap. The second your feet touch the floor, head comes through and push your ass backwards. Slide, 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 slide. Slide. Hips down to the floor. So in heels, these shoulder rolls are a lot easier. First off, because you've got a few extra inches to help you to get your legs closer to the floor. So it's kind of reducing your need for flexibility in a way. You're bringing the floor closer to you. Also, I can use this plastic as like kind of like an ice skate as such to skate along the floor. It's taking the pressure out of my toes and my feet while I do this, so it's a lot less painful. Plus, of course, they make your legs longer and prettier. So, in heels, I'm going to do the straight leg one. So when you're doing it, make sure that you're using the front part of your shoe. Point your toes. Do not flex your feet, because if you flex your feet, you're going to get onto the rubber part here, which is really, really grippy, and that's going to reduce your capability to slide, which is not good. So, that's not what we want. We want to make it nice and fluid. So lying down on the back, hands in the position that I want. Oops, I'll go this way. So lifting up into your pike. Legs come over towards the shoulder. Take your head through the gap. Pointing your toes. So use that front part of your shoe to skate. And slowly, slowly sliding it back. So whichever shoulder that you're rolling over, the same leg is going to make, it's going to touch the floor first. The other leg is going to stay in the air. So my right shoulder is down. That means that my right foot is coming towards the floor. So first I'm going to lift up into my pike position. I'm going to make sure that I'm clear which leg I'm using. So I'm okay, right shoulder down, right leg touches the floor. My left leg stays lifted. As soon as possible, of course, I'm going to take my head away, take it through the gap, making that split of my left leg, sliding backwards all the way down to the floor. Again, the same advice applies here. Point your toes in your shoes. Do not flex your foot with that right foot or you will get stuck. So just to demonstrate to you, this is something that I see happening quite a lot. So once I get to here, I'm going to flex foot and then the rubber of my shoe is preventing me from sliding, which makes it hard. Plus, it doesn't look very nice. So golden rule, guys, point your toes. So with the over the shoulder split, same technique applies. This does require a little bit more active flexibility, but you can try it anyway. It will get better with practice. So my right foot comes down, touches the floor. The other leg is going to come over the teepee, over your shoulder, into a split. So, pike, right foot down, because that's my shoulder that's down, lifting into the split, head comes through. The leg that's lifted, I'm going to bend the knee, take it onto my shoulder, which is my little shelf, slide my hips towards the floor, and I'm making a split once my hips come down by straightening the leg. Let me just demonstrate that again to give you a better angle. So, just one more time. I'm going to roll back into shoulder roll. Right leg touches the floor, left leg up into the split. Head comes through. Keeping your elbow up. Take that lifted leg onto your shoulder. Sliding away towards hips away from you. And you're going to straighten the leg as much as you can into a split. Don't worry if you're here and you're like, oh, I can't get my leg straight. Just practice. It's active flexibility, which is strength. And it will improve over time. Take it out. Just slide the leg backwards, letting it roll off your shoulder, closing your legs, and strip and push up to get out. So your key points again for your shoulder roll. Make sure that you point your toes and you're using the front part of your foot to make contact with the floor and slide along backwards. Don't flex your feet or put the weight onto your toes, otherwise you're going to get stuck. Plus it's not a very nice line. This also applies if you're in heels. Make sure that you're using your TP arm Look away from your TP and your head comes around through the gap. Move your head as quickly as possible once your hips are lifted to get into that position to help you make your transition nice and smooth. Yes, try the bent leg version as a beginner and then you can progress to both legs straight. In the straight leg version, you do not have knees, so push everything in a nice straight line backwards without letting your knees bend. Sometimes this can be more of a habit thing, so the more you practice it, your coordination will develop and it will become nice and smooth. Yeah, have fun with it. Of course, be careful if you're practicing at home on carpet, as that can be a little bit painful. Yeah, and just make sure that you do practice it on both sides. Make sure you get it perfect on one side first before you worry about the other side, as otherwise it can get a little bit confusing. 90% of people are going to roll over their right shoulder, so the left hand is in TP. But if you do on the left, that's fine. Once you've got it on one side, then progress to the other. So good luck with it and have fun. And yeah, feel free to add it to your floor work dancing to create really interesting, beautiful transitions. Good luck, guys.